Hey guys, this is Dave Conigliaro, author of Keeping Your Customers Addicted to You. Today, I'm excited because I get to talk to Benji Bruce. Benji Bruce is a renowned speaker, and today, man, we're just going to be chopping it up. No, you're not seeing. Look, we're not twins, okay? I know, we're both bald, and this guy's extremely handsome, but you're not seeing Benji. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good, man. Hey, man, I just want to get right into this since just for the sake of time, because I respect your time. Thanks for coming on. I want to talk to you about speaking, okay? Paid speaking, okay? You said we talked earlier, and you said that you've been speaking ever since you were 10 years old.
Yeah, because when I was 10 was when I learned how to do magic, and then when I was 13 was when I started making money at it. And from that point on, I went from magic to mind reading to speaking. And I've never had a job, nothing. Even when I got my first apartment, I didn't know what a pay stub was. They were like, "We need to see a pay stub." I said, "What's that?" Because I've only been working for myself. So, just ever since I was 10, just been doing it.
You now the mind reading thing. Tell me about that. How did you get into that, and what is that?
Well, I just like the psychology behind the magic. So I just like how people think. And because I was studying business and I was doing the magic, I just naturally got into psychology. So from there, I started doing more mind reading tricks where instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, it was more along the lines of, here's what you're thinking. And I would do these shows about what people are thinking and these really cool mind reading effects on stage.
Okay, man, that's cool. That's cool. Now you're out there in Vegas, right? Now you live in Vegas. Do you you live in Vegas? Yeah. Okay. When did how long have you been living in Vegas?
Maybe like 3.5 years or so. Not too long.
Okay. And you just do you get speaking gigs all over Vegas, and you do corporate events, private events, private parties.
Yeah.
What do you do?
It's just corporate events, and so it's just wherever the event is, like LA, Florida, where you are, just wherever the event is. Out here in Vegas, I don't do too many local events here in Vegas. It's pretty much everywhere else except Vegas. The reason why I'm in Vegas is because a lot of people host their events here. A lot of the business people that I hang out with host their events here. So I'll go to their events just to talk with them. And I've built up a bigger network just by living here in Vegas than if I lived in Colorado Springs still.
Nice. So they all just come to you. That's nice. So that's like a nice hub. Yeah. So you're just out there networking. Yeah, that's good, buddy. Hey. Walk me through this because when we get our speaking engagements, I'll tell you a lot of how I do it is I usually contact event planners and say I find out whatever show is going to come up, whatever show is happening. Like there's a big show getting ready to happen in Vegas in November, the SEMA show, world's largest car show. We almost always go to that one. There's only a few years in the last 15 years that I've even missed, and we're always doing either a workshop or a seminar or something along those lines. But I'm always contacting the event planners and just saying, look, here's what we talk about. Here's kind of the list of the itinerary. Walk us through that, man, because you're the speaker guy. So I want to hear from you.
So I stopped contacting the meeting planners and the bureaus and all that because what I learned a long time ago, what people tell you to do is they say, oh, build a one sheet. And then they say, once you have a one sheet, send it out to bureaus and contact all these guys. And I realized, I made a whole video on one sheets where I hate the thing, but I realized that meeting planners and bureaus, they're not aggressive enough, they're not active enough to book me a gig. Because it's not their job to book me a gig, it's their job to essentially get a speaker booked. So I stopped contacting meeting planners and bureaus because they have hundreds of other guys that they need to work with. So I just go straight to the companies. I'll just look for Microsoft, whatever company I want to do a presentation at, and I'll contact them directly. So that's what I do, and I do email prospecting instead of cold calling. I don't like talking on the phone at all. I figured talking on the phone, it's not as efficient as sending emails, and to me it wasn't as effective either. So what I did, I used to call people on the phone from the get-go when I was, I don't know, maybe 16 or something. I don't know. I used to call people on the phone. I would do a lot of cold calls. And I realized that, one, I wasn't making as many calls as I thought I was, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm calling people up. Some people answered, some people didn't. One day I just kept a tally of how many people actually answered and how many people I actually talked to. And after like an hour and a half, after 90 minutes, I thought I'd contacted like freaking 100 people. I was like, damn, that's what I'm talking about. And I realized, I looked down at the number, there was like 5-6 people. And I'm thinking like, what the heck? And so I realized I had to do something different. And so I started sending the emails. And with the emails, I thought it was just, it turned out to be way more efficient and effective. And I would just keep following up with people to get the events done.
How much of your speaking that you do now would you say is automated? I'm sure you got a good, CMR program that you're using. Yeah. What do you? How much is automated versus streamlined, automated, and Infusionsoft? What do you use?
Okay, so the tools that I use Base CRM. That's the CRM that I use.
Yeah.
And then I would use Yesware a lot. I used to use Yesware. One of the things that we're looking at now is Persist IQ, because Persist IQ can do way more, and it's more expensive. But Persist IQ, the cool thing about that is it sends out these emails, so you can have these email templates that you put in there. Let's say you build a list of 100 people, and you put that list into Persist IQ, and you just click this button or whatever. It sends them the first email, and people who respond get taken out of that sequence. People who don't respond get sent the second email. Then if they don't respond to that, they get third email and all that. So it takes them through this cadence type thing.
Right.
And so we're going to probably switch to that pretty soon. But what I use right now is the base CRM for my CRM. In terms of automation, I never believe in automation. I don't think you can automate prospecting, because that's what this is. It's prospecting. I have templates in there, so there's templates that I use. But in terms of what most people think, well, automation, I just click a button and sit back and money rolls in. I tell them, like, there's no such thing.
Right.
Even the guys selling you automation, they don't even automate. There's literally no such thing. And so the tool that I use, Base CRM, I have templates in there. There's the first template, there's another template, then there's all these follow-up templates. And the process is we send out email number 1. If they respond to that, then we talk to them. We have all these follow-ups, and I always click. I always can click like opportunity or convert. That's what it's called. It's convert in Base CRM, and then once I convert it into an opportunity, then I click follow-up, and I set a date on when to follow up, and that depends on what we say. It depends on what I say in the first email and how we're communicating. If they say, our event is 8 months from now, then I'm not going to follow up tomorrow. So it really depends on what they say and how we're talking with the follow-ups. But in terms of automation,
let me ask you this. Let's get kind of more specific, okay? Let's say there's a guy who, let's say there's a guy who, let's say he's a personal trainer, okay? And he's just getting started. He's just getting started in the personal training fitness industry, but he really wants to kind of dominate his space. Okay, what would be your advice? Let's say he wants to be known as well known as a personal trainer in his space and starting to brand that way. What tactics do you think that he should employ if you were giving him advice? Give me kind of the nuts and bolts to this. Like, I'm using that kind of specifically. It's kind of general, but also specific.
Okay. Yeah. So if I was a trainer, what I would tell him is he would have to do inbound and outbound. So he would essentially first set up his website to be more like a magazine style website. more like an email capture website where he would capture emails and he would produce all this content. So that would be one side of the business, the inbound stuff. The outbound that I would tell him is, I would tell him to focus on specific entrepreneurs, to pick a market. My market personally would be entrepreneurs, because there are guys out there, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, all these guys out there. And these are just speakers, but there's a lot of entrepreneurs in general who travel a lot. And because they travel, they have a hard time with their nutrition and working out and that sort of stuff. So I would tell them, like, hey, look, entrepreneurs like Gary Vaynerchuk, all these guys travel a lot. Put an outbound prospecting system in place to contact them and say things like, hey, I notice that you travel a lot, and I'm assuming you're interested in staying in shape when you're on stage or when you're selling real estate or whatever it is. And I would contact them like that. So it would be very specific to them. And I would charge a high price. It wouldn't be like, oh, $30 an hour for training. It would be more like, I'll charge you $100,000 for the year, and basically I'll do everything for you. You won't have to think about making the food. You won't have to think about anything. All you got to do is just sit there, and we'll set up a schedule, and I'll bring the food to you. It's already made. So that's how I would do it with the trainer. So it would be a combination of inbound and outbound.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good. That's good stuff. Let me ask you this. I was over at the NADA show not too long ago, and they had one of the keynote speakers that was there that, honestly, Benji, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Okay, now nothing against the speaker, okay, and nothing against the guy that they brought out, but I mean, this is literally the automotive sector industry, and it was all geared towards people in the automotive industry, not just consumers, but people that are actually in the field. And the keynote speaker they had was Jeff Foxworthy. Now, I don't have a problem with Jeff Foxworthy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's great, but I mean, what does Jeff Foxworthy know about the automotive sector? I mean, does he know anything? Does he know? I mean, but they bring this guy in. He's like the main headliner, right? And it kind of bothered me because, I mean, it would have made more sense. You know, you mentioned Cardone. It would have made more sense to bring in somebody like that, I thought, because he's actually in the automotive sector, or at least used to be, you know. And I was wondering, how would you go about if you wanted to say dominate a space like that, or take real estate? Because I know that you spoke at I saw something where you did something with Remax, right, a while back. Yeah. Now, a lot of times it seems like, wouldn't they bring in somebody who really dominates the real estate industry as the keynote speaker if you're in the real estate deal? Or wouldn't it make more sense to bring in the automotive expert, to be the keynote speaker? And why do you think they would spend their money on a keynote speaker like a Jeff Foxworthy or somebody like that? Or Jay Leno. Jay Leno was at the last real estate thing in Vegas, I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah, no, I know exactly why they do that. They do it because at a certain point, it's no longer about what you say, and it's about who you are. And they bring these people in because they're the well-known names, and these names get people to come to the event. So it's not about the content this person delivers. Someone like Jay Leno's an exception because he loves cars, but still, with most guys, it's like if they bring in, I don't know, some other person who has no idea, who doesn't know what cars are, they'll still bring them in just because of who that person is, a celebrity name. And I've talked with several people where they brought me in, and they brought in a celebrity guy, and honestly, he's getting paid more than me. I'm like, hey man, my presentation's way better than this dude. Why'd you pay him like 60, 70 grand? And they always say, every single time they say, well, it's because he's him, and he brings in the crowd. They never talk about his presentation. They never say, oh, he has a great presentation, he's a great speaker. It's always, oh, this is President Barack Obama.
Right.
It's like, he brings people in. So that's why they do it. They really don't care in terms of the content.
Do you sell products as well at the events that you're keynoting?
No, because to me, there's two different industries. There's the seminar industry, and then there's the keynote industry. In the paid keynote industry, one, you're not going to be able to sell products. I mean, that's just the way it works. A company like Aflac, when they bring you in to speak, they're paying you 10, 15, 20, 25 grand to do a presentation, and you're not there to sell. And so if you sell, you're going to get screwed pretty much. There's no way you can possibly sell.
Have you ever? Okay. Have you ever put on a show yourself? Like you controlled the gate, you controlled the marketing, you controlled the push and everything. Have you done those yourself?
Yeah, so the first time I did it, it was in Colorado Springs, and I don't know if you remember the Antlers Hotel.
Downtown. Yeah, downtown.
So I had like huge connections at the Antlers. I mean, I knew everyone from the janitor to not just the CEO, but the guy who was in charge of the entire region of the Hilton. So I went to them and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a show here, just like a full presentation. I want to rent out the suite, and then we'll put these chairs and everything in there. Are you guys cool with that? And they were like, sure. And so they gave me a huge discount. And so from there, I had to get people to the event, and I had to do all the ticket stuff. And that was the first time I did it. And I realized how hard it is to get people to an event. And then I started doing it with other guys. When I started helping speakers with their marketing, I showed them, like, here's how I would do it now. And what I would do now, and what we did do, is we did a prospecting type of system to where, of course, you can do Facebook ads. So we did Facebook ads. But the prospecting system was more of, we set up the event to where it was the day before a sales event out here in Vegas. And that way, we would do this prospecting part, and we would send out emails to people interested in sales. And if they're attending this event already, they can attend our event at the same time, a day before. So that's how we got people to that event. I don't do too many of those, but yeah, I mean, if I did them, I would combine Facebook ads and an outbound system.
Would you recommend if there was somebody who wants to be a seminar speaker, a keynote speaker, or a presenter in some form, would you recommend that they become a member of, like, say, the Washington Speakers Bureau or something like that, or would you? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know why anyone would want to become a member of the association. I think of it like this, and there's no reason to network with other speakers because they can't hire you. The only people that you want to network with are the people you can do business with. So if you're going to join an association, join one where there are meeting planners there, not speakers. And I mean, that's pretty much how I think. And then if you're going to join a real association, think of joining the ASAE, because that's the Association of Society Executives, where there are like VPs and CEOs in that association. So I would never join an association with other speakers.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. I'm so glad you said that, because I know somebody. Actually, I have a friend of mine. I know him very well, and he said, he was basically a slave to the Washington Speakers Bureau. And I mean, 200 days a year, 180 days a year, whatever it was. He was out there just grinding it out. And he just felt like, man, I'm making money, but he just felt like a complete slave to the association. And I think you're absolutely right. It wouldn't make any sense to kind of pair up with other people that are doing the exact same thing. I think you're absolutely right. That makes perfect sense. Benji, where can people find you, man? Because I want to connect my audience to you anyway. I got 40,000 Twitter followers, and I want to pair people up with you.
Yeah, if people want to just look at my website, they can go to benjibruce.net, and if they want to learn more about the marketing, the speaker stuff, go to speakinglifestyle.com, and from there they'll see all my marketing videos. So that's pretty much it. Or just Google me, just type in Benji Bruce, and all my stuff will pop up.
Man, by the way, I like your website, man. I like your website. I had a chance to check out your website. I was perusing your website for about 30 seconds, 35 seconds. I know, but it's nice. it's clean. It's clean. It's. I wish more websites look like your website. I wish Amazon looked like your website. I'm like, it is what it is, and it's not what it's not. I mean, it's just very easy. Just super easy. Benji, man, I want to thank you for your time, man. Thank you for taking time out of your day, man. I know you're busy. We're busy too. Thank you so much for your time, buddy. I hope you kill it, man. I hope you make a fortune. I hope my audience. Hey, listen, guys, follow this guy. Follow this guy on Twitter. Go to his website. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, man. You can learn a lot. Hey, Benji, thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you.